Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Holly. I'm a psychic medium. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you subscribe and like the channel. I really appreciate it. And if not, there's a ton of other readers. Do what makes you feel good. And speaking of do what makes you feel good, this is going to be a general reading. I am general reading, generally. I'm on top of it today. Um, Clearly not. Anyway, this is a general reading, so it can't fit for everyone. But take what resonates and just leave the rest. Be entertained, hopefully. So, yeah, I am a little gravelly, and I am just completely puffy, allergy-ridden, and I have no idea why. None whatsoever. Just kind of woke up this way. So anyway, I got in the shower, dried my hair, and put on mascara. I did put on mascara and earrings. Woohoo! All right. So, of course, I've got my coffee. And I love this. I've had this for so many years. It's one of those grocery store finds. It's a travel mug. It says, "Wake up and be awesome." And it's got a unicorn on it. Unicorns are always awesome. All right. So, this is going to clear up as I talk, the more I talk. So, I am going to pull out a very special deck here in a minute, but first, good morning. If it's afternoon, evening, night, whatever it is for you, but right now I'm filming in the morning and getting a little bit later start than normal, but good morning. Let's make it a good day, a good afternoon, a good evening, a good night, whatever, wherever you are. Let's just make it a good day, because that is within our control. Okay? For the most part. We can't always control what happens to us sometimes, but we can control how we react to it. And so I thought, okay, we need to get a message, Spirit Messages Oracle cards. And it says inspiring messages to bring you comfort. But some of them are like, cool your jets, slow your roll, sit down, eat a piece of pie and relax. You know, they kind of sound like that. That would be the kind of inspirational oracle card I would make. Which I don't think many people would buy. So I don't make them. Anyway, but this is what the box looks like. And hang on just a minute for me, please. As I crack my teeth, I didn't crack anything, but as I try to chew my cup with my teeth, I don't know if you all heard that or not, big clinking sound, because I have really big teeth. Growing up, I always heard them referred to as horse teeth, because I got big teeth. Well, I'm just getting all kinds of familiar today. You're getting to know all my little weird things. All right, well, this reading is not about me. This reading is about the collective. So please, Mother and Father God, guardians, guides, archangels, ascended masters, protectorate, beloved elementals, come into this space for the collective, the guards and the guides and guardians, the guides and guardians for anyone in the protectorate who needs it right now. Please help me to understand what message they need to hear. All right. And let's start with a card from this deck. You're saying pull it right out. I'm sorry, I cut my finger the other day and I just hit it again. Pull one right off the top. All right. This is what it looks like. Self-awareness is key. Take time today to go within and spend time with your soul. Go for a walk in nature and ground yourself. Meditate. Listen to your favorite music. Whatever you enjoy most, do that today. Well, I think that was my... Isn't that the one I just said, basically, in nicer terms? Cool your jets, have a piece of pie, relax. Well, that was said in a much nicer way. Whatever makes you happy today, that's what you need to do. But it's grounding and centering and getting in touch with your soul. Let's do one more. One more for the collective, please. And I promise I won't mention pie again. All right, these two. They slid right out to the side. Don't lose sight of this truth. You came here to evolve and grow. It is necessary to experience the difficult times. That is when you will grow most. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Be proud of your journey. Boy, isn't that the truth? Be proud of your journey. Be proud of even the things that you've survived. Not be proud that bad things happen, but be proud that you survived them, because it's part of your story. It's part of your saga. It's part of what made you you, and it's what made you someone who can empathize. And it is part of the growth. You know, I think we generally, things that are unsavory, we try to hide and not discuss. Well, you don't need to go on ad nauseum. You know, you got to move on with life at some point. But at the same time, you know, okay. For whatever reason, someone needs to hear this. I was just told to keep going. So I'm like, all right, tell them the story. Okay. So, you know, for those of us who grew up with, let's just call it a difficult family. And I use the word family loosely. And then you meet someone, if you go out, most people have had kind of tumultuous lives, and oddly, it's, I think, more rare that people had loving, wonderful homes. And then you meet someone who had a loving, wonderful home, and you just kind of, I know for me, I've thought, I'm going to throw up big red flags because I come from a house full of wingnuts. And so I try to just gloss around or gloss over it or not talk about it much. And then one day I realized that makes it look like I'm hiding. And it makes it look like I'm hiding something, which is a bigger red flag. So I finally just decided, say it. I always add, I have put my time in, I have done my therapy, but that's what made me who I am. And I am, you know, who I am. Self-sufficient, independent, and, you know, anyway, you get it. I don't have to say anymore. You all get it. All right, I'm going to read this other one. You are so much closer to a powerful breakthrough than you may realize. Ooh, I like that. You have been praying for things to heal, new opportunities to appear, relationships to improve, and these prayers will soon be answered. Now, sometimes the only way things can heal is to die and move on. And I'm talking about in relationships, but, you know, sadly, sometimes people are so damaged that the only thing that can help them is to move on. Now, I'm not talking about any of you, so don't get any crazy ideas in your head. All things happen in the natural time and in the natural way, please. And if you need help, please go get it. But if you are praying to save a relationship that is abusive or not good for you, pray to save yourself. Pray for the strength to save yourself. You know, it's a weird vibe in the energy this morning. I kept feeling like someone was grieving, like someone was going through the grieving process, but yet I was not getting a clear message about it. And I mean, and I know people who are in tough situations right now, but they are tough situations they will survive. It's not total destitution and life-altering, a life-altering prognosis, or, you know, anything like that that's going to take a whole, you know, that could bring about an end. You know, it's like, but it still felt like someone was grieving. Oh, I get it. Here it is. The loss of who they were as a person. Someone is grieving the loss of who they were, what they thought they had, and where they thought they were going. And this card just pulled up. The Deanna Marie Riddick Higher Self Oracle. Anger. And there is a lot of anger about it. But remember, anger is just masked pain and fear. And I've said that forever. That's why when I suggest, if you stand in the rain, if it's not an electrical storm, or in the shower, or just splashing water over your face and even washing your hands in the sink, and you can say, water, water, wash away all the fear of yesterday. And I choose to say fear. And we've gone over this, I think, I don't know, I may even have made a short about it, I don't remember. But I say fear just because that truly is the root of all those other emotions. Anger comes from fear of loss and lack. So, and then I pulled up in the middle again, and change. So, fear of change. Fear that you have to make a change. So, whatever is going on, understand that you will survive. That's all I want me to say. Okay. Do I need this deck? One more? Okay. So I'm still working with the Higher Self Oracle. And we are going to see what comes up next. All right. Expect the unexpected. On the right path. That's a pretty card. Magic ahead. Maybe a little mayhem. Happiness with a shimmering light. And overcome obstacles. Do you notice a little octopus there? How sweet. They are incredibly smart, by the way. Kind of sassy and funny. Overcoming obstacles. Spirit, do you have a message? You will be fine. You will be fine. You will be fine. You may not believe it now, but there's so much greater in store. The road you were on, you saw where it was ending. Is that a road you really want to walk? Or eventually crawl because you would stagnate? That's the message. I don't know. All right, now on to the special one. So a good friend sent me this. Hello, how you doing, Corinne? Thank you. The Sirens song. Even the box is pretty, okay? And it's a cool deck because, and look at this. It opens up. It's just gorgeous. I put the book underneath the insert just so I could have it, but the book is beautiful too. And the book even has a color image of the card with the description and a lot of information, a lot about the decks, a lot about the history. So if you're into that, it's got a really nice history, okay? Really nice history about the decks. So I haven't played with it as much as I would like to, but they are two decks. Whoops. They're basically two decks. So they are it's a Lenormand and it's a Kipper. So, and they were originally like European playing cards, divination cards, playing cards used as divination cards. And there was a famous French practitioner, and it was her last name was Lenormand, and there was a famous German practitioner or reader whose last name was Kipper. And so they basically altered these decks and gave them their names. Now, the lady who did the artwork for these two, then someone got the bright idea, let's combine these decks because they overlap and there are similarities. So the lady who made these or designed them, designed both. And they are gorgeous. The backs, and then they all have a sea theme. And you read these a little differently than regular tarot, but they're very intricate. They have lots of images, and you can read them separately or just mush them all together and read them together. So I do have them separate right now, and I was reading them together and separately last night, but I think I'm just going to mix them all together. And but you could do one with a follow-up or clarification with the other. And with this type of card, there's something called the Grand Tableau, and that's another way to read, but it's very involved. And you use almost all the cards and you read them in different directions. So we're not going to do that. It's pretty fascinating. There are a lot of tutorials on YouTube by other people who that's what they do. That's like their whole thing. That is very in-depth, and it's pretty cool. But also these cards are small, which I love because that means they're easier to shuffle and I can get my hands around them. This deck were full-size cards. I mean, there's a lot there. It's 2 decks. It would be massive. All right, so the Siren's Song. Now, so what is the message for the collective today? What is the message for the collective today? 1, there's a message of adventure coming. 2, everything is happening in the right timing and as it should. 3, there's another message for some other group in the collective. Someone who is almost like doing homesteading kind of stuff. What is the message? Take pride in what you're doing. You're doing very good work. Someone who's like growing their own produce and fruits and stuff, and they're canning and and they enjoy it. They love it. They love it. It's a passion. Good for you. What they're showing me are 3 very different ways of living, and all 3 provide satisfaction. So, Spirit, what's going on? Why are you telling? Why is this going on? They're saying, regardless of the path you choose, it is the path you choose, and that is the right one for you. That you don't have to, you don't have to, here we go, this is it. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. Life isn't about the keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing, keeping up with the next door neighbors kind of thing. It's not about competition. It is about being who you are in your own light and living the life that brings you joy. Because when it brings you joy, you radiate and your light amps up. And it illuminates and lights the way for others, even if they are on a different path. So do what makes you happy, because in turn, that will encourage other people to do what makes them happy by the sheer joy in your light, because it is contagious. They're showing me someone yawning. You know how someone yawns and all of a sudden you're not sleepy, but you're yawning too? That involuntary response. It's the same with shining your light and spreading joy. And waking up and being awesome. That's a lovely message. Thank you. All right, well, we're done. No. But we could be, because that is a beautiful message. If you get, it's like pangs of insecurity and jealousy, because jealousy is just insecurity. Understand that there is something that will fulfill you, but it's just in a different direction than the person you're focusing all this venom toward. And someone's spewing out some venom right now. All right. So, yeah. All right. All right, let me do one more shuffle here. And then we're going to pull some cards and see what happens. This one just wanted to come straight out. Child. There are 2 child cards in this deck, an older child and a younger child. This one is about, and then a little octopus again, about naivete. Approach your life with wonder is the message. And I am directly asking Spirit to tell me everything to say. Okay? So I started out like, yeah, blah, 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 being all kind of ridiculous. But I'm sorry, I just slammed the cards down really loudly, and I think I made a big bang on the table. I hope that wasn't too loud. But this feels super important. This feels really important. They're saying approach life with wonder and the wonderment of a child. Okay? Louise Hay wrote a book about affirmations, and she said, babies don't think, oh, my feet are too fat. I've got rolls. No, they just giggle and laugh, and they just want to be loved and be happy. Okay. They're saying take these and then do more. This one, and then these 2. Okay. Military, card 22. Military. Let me just go through, and then we'll get Spirit's input. Bear. Interesting, that's next to military. And then marriage. Okay. So child, military, bear, message. There are two distinct messages coming through with this particular spread. With one group, old ways and not dogma, because it doesn't feel religious. It feels like just structure, like social structure, could be causing problems. Someone is facing a difficulty with a union that they want because of, they came in with the wonderment of a child, but then the old structures, old messages, old outdated modes of viewing the world and themselves came into play, and they started to question everything. There's happiness and joy on both their faces. Give us another card, please. Give us another card. Man. Give us another card, please, because I'm not sure what the man signifies here. Endings. All right, it's starting to come to light. One more, please. And good outcome. Okay, so what's going to happen here? Began with childlike wonderment. Then all of a sudden, old structures, life, messages, fear of letting people down, fear of what ifs. All the what ifs came up. But there was always this sense of, but this feels right and joyous. And these two are very young. A renewed sense of vigor and youth. The man is holding, I believe, let me put on my glasses and make sure. There are two ways you could look at that. You could look at this guy's touching right below the heart center, almost in between the heart and the solar chakras, or he could be holding like a spread of cards in his hands. He's got the cards in his hand. And this is the Ace of Cups, or Hearts, which is cups. So this is a masculine energy, or someone in their masculine selves, who is saying, but this is what I feel. This is my heart. And stepping into power. This is a man who's, or an energy, a person who's grown up and said, but I have so much to give. And I want to be able to give it. The coffin signifies endings, and what I think it is an ending of, because of the following card, then one next to it, which is good outcome. And the two doves. Doves mate for life. And I think that was the old dogmatic messages about, you know, guilt trip. I just heard guilt trip. But this guy's like, how can I feel guilty when this is the outcome? So all those old guilt trip messages are ending. And they end now. They are ending now. And putting them to rest. And this signifies freedom. In my mind, and what I'm hearing is freedom. Now, this could be with another person. The marriage card, that could signify with someone else. And I'm not talking about specifically marriage necessarily, but just that coming into a space of not buying into the old burdened messages and realizing that you are enough. But it could also be coming into your own and caring for yourself. It's almost like marrying yourself. So there are two ways to look at this: with another person, or you taking care of yourself and putting an end to outmoded and outdated ways of thinking that don't serve anyone. This person is going through a renewal and a regeneration and stepping into a true knowing of the self and saying, this doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. I'm not buying into the hype, and I'm not buying in to the guilt. And they are going after. They are going after their peace, their harmony within, their love within, and their love without. All right. There was a lot going on in there. There was a whole lot going on in there. There was a lot going on in that. So understand, people are where they are. They don't know how to be anything else. You fix you and do what you need to do to be happy. And the other person, maybe they need that structure. Maybe they need those messages of distinct right and wrong and no gray areas, because they don't, some people aren't good at thinking for themselves, and they need those rigid structures, or they freak out and have a panic attack. But that doesn't mean it's your panic attack. This is a pretty heavy message. And I think it covers a lot of ground and a lot of different ways of looking at something. Again, it's a general message, so just please be aware of that. I open the card to the middle, and Rich Gent. So is the card, and that's what it's called, came up. What that tells me is someone is no longer struggling. Someone is no longer struggling with who they are, what they believe, or what they know to be true. Truth is not always the same for two different people. And I've always said it's hard to fight the truth. It's hard to fight facts. But it's sort of like any kind of data in a study. People can manipulate it to be what they want. I do think that this is about people coming into their own, because I just opened it one more time, and the opposite side of that, rich girl instead of female, or gal, whatever. But and then on the bottom of the deck, fake person, very self-absorbed. So you can't force people to look at themselves honestly. You can't force people to see who they are if they're not ready to see who they are. And that could be for the good or what would be the negative qualities. All you can do is look at yourself. And once you look at yourself and you say, these are really good qualities. I like this about me. I like the way that I treat people. I like the things that I do. Or if you then say, but I've got some things I need to work on. And the things I need to work on are XYZ. So we all have things to work on. None of us are perfect. And when we can admit that and see that, that's when the true growth happens. It goes back to that first part about growth and evolution. And I'll pick those up in a minute. I was just trying to get them back in the box and knock them off, so that's not part of a reading. Interesting message today. It's cutting ties, because I actually see in my head a pair of scissors cutting a ribbon, just cutting it in half. Today is the day that there's going to be a letting go. Today is the day someone's growing up. I mean, and this could be someone who's 70 years old or, 45 years old, but it doesn't matter. Someone is growing up today because they're realizing they are not responsible for how someone else behaves or sees themselves or treats others. All they can do is honestly look at themselves, look within, and figure out who am I, what do I stand for, and how do I treat people? Because it's a reflection of how you see yourself. Thank you, Spirit. Wow. Someone's life is getting ready to open up. The one who can stop and truthfully look within and see the good and the things that need work. That person is getting ready to start a whole new way of life. And the other person, as much as you want them to be well, they're not going to be well. I feel like this has got branches reaching out like this. So this is not just one scenario. I feel like this covers a multitude of scenarios. It could be a parent and a child, partners, business partners, or it could be any number of things. But I feel that today is the day that someone sees with clarity themselves and the others around them, and they make their decision. What to do next. Okay, I do not feel the need to pull another card, and I think that's it. Okay, well, my voice is better at least, but I need about 2 more cups of coffee. So anyway, and I think it's time to charge my little microphone, so hopefully I've been recording sound, because this was a really big message. I love you all so much. Have a really good day, a great weekend, and I hope you see how beautiful you truly are. Okay, take care.